The Constitutional Court is hearing struggle icon Chris Hani's assassin Janusz Walus's latest bid to be freed after 29 years behind bars. He's challenging the decision by the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, denying him parole. He's facing stiff opposition from the SACP and the Hani family. The Hani family and the South African Communist Party currently addressing the media. Let's take you live there to that briefing, which I understand is attended by the widow of Chris Hani, Dimpho Hani, as well as Soli Mapaila from the South African Communist Party.
Led by Advocate Moerane SC as well. We think that they've presented the ultimate case for us to reject the possibility for the release of Janusz Walus, who has lied to the court on previous occasions, including up to this level, where he indicates a process of engagement with the family and the Communist Party, which is incorrect and untrue. The only thing that we do know, of course, is that he once wrote us a letter addressed to Ms. Hani through the SACP, and at that time, Medimpo has just left for Cuba. We did indicate to his legal team that she's not around, we won't be able to engage because she's in Cuba. Only to find that he was doing that just so that he's able to put the letter in the application for parole. But together with this was largely through his co-conspirator on this heinous murder of our General Secretary, Clive W. Lewis, who after his many processes to get parole, finally got it on medical grounds, and he made a film attacking us, attacking Comrade Hani, attacking the Hani family, calling us all names, and attacking communism. And on that basis said he will repeat what he did if he were given a chance. And that video should be circulated after his death. And this was done. So today we are engaged in a legal process wherein almost similar occurrence is happening because they want to abuse the legal system in our country, the foundation of our constitutional democracy, for which, as we all know, Comrade Hani's blood made possible for us to have April 27 that gave birth to this constitution. In other words, what we are dealing with here, it's a fight between constitutional democracy and impunity of the right-wing forces. This is what Janusz Walus represents. But we must say we leave these matters within the legal fraternity in terms of our heads of argument as presented by our legal team. I think everyone heard the brilliancy of the law. We respect the law. We appreciate the law. We fought for this democracy and the rule of law. But this rule of law should not be allowed to be abused by criminal elements in the name of human rights, when actually it prejudices the rights of all others. The rights of a nation must be questioned so that we protect the rights of this murderer who is not remorseful, who is unrepentant, and continue to disregard even the courtesy to engage properly with the family. The last point I need to raise is this aversion that was made by Pretorius, that we spoke to him, Duplessis. We did not speak to him. I engaged him in court on the basis that why do they hate communism so much? And he was telling me about Afrikaner communism. We do have members of the Communist Party who are Afrikaners, who are members of the Communist Party. Bram Fischer and several others, senior leaders of the Communist Party were Afrikaners who understood what we mean by communism, not the nonsense that me and him were discussing based on his own articulation. Now, he mischievously put this in the court process as if there was an engagement with the Communist Party. We have never had an engagement with him. He has never had an engagement with the Hani family or with Miss Hani. So we just want to put that on record. Of course, he placed it, although he made it an informal thing, but he did place it in this respect. We want to leave it there, and maybe if you have questions, we'll take it up. But we have our legal team here, Mr. Tanyani. If there are other legal questions, for instance, in terms of procedure, he'll come to that.
Thank you, Comrade. So I will take questions. Just before then, there was something that occurred in this hearing, which also happened at the High Court in Swami. Because what we have is an abuse of the traditions also that were developed by the African people. You cannot come to the court to plead for parole for having assassinated a person. And one of your grounds for pleading for the parole is that Ubuntu must be applied. Ubuntu is a two-way street. It starts before you murder a person. And you do not kill that person, you do not assassinate that person in view of Ubuntu. You do not assassinate a person and thereafter say, because you want parole, Ubuntu must be used as a ground to grant parole. That is out of order. Ubuntu goes two ways. So this argument on Ubuntu, as if we do not apply the law to ourselves, is completely misplaced. It has been repeated in almost all the courts, including where their applications did not succeed. To take a murder weapon and take the life of a human being is not an act of Ubuntu. You cannot, therefore, come back and say, if we are saying we are not satisfied with your conduct, we are not satisfied that you did not participate in making full disclosure of the truth, and you say that we do not apply Ubuntu. There are outstanding questions here. There is a murder weapon that was taken from apartheid, from military armory under apartheid conditions. Those conditions were different from conditions of today. Not any Dick, Tom, and Harry could walk into where military ammunition and arms were stored, take a weapon, later fit a silencer on that weapon, test that silencer, and that weapon ends up taking the life of someone like Chris Hani. There are people who were involved in the chain, including the one who took the gun, who has not been held accountable. So justice has not been served in this case. So I just wanted to make emphasis on that. Otherwise, let me take questions. Yes, you will come first and then followed by, yes.
Okay. So Natasha Perry from SABC News. Alex just made a point that Napali was saying that justice is not being served. I mean, it's almost 27 years since the assassination of Mpate Hani. I know maybe people can't speak, but I mean, on behalf of the SACP, on behalf of the family, I mean, how's that process been? 27 years, still no accountability, no answers, no closure for the family. And furthermore, we heard Advocate BBC say that he apologizes yet again on behalf of his kind. Do you accept that apology?
Yes, Abiwe. And in the meantime, just before you ask on the apology, it was an assertion made in the court of law rather than an apology to the affected people.
I'm going to add on to the 27 years and what the assassin says around the constitutionality of it, saying that it's unconstitutional suffering if he's not given parole, if he's sentenced to life in prison, basically. Just your thoughts as a SACP on that, and again on the apology. It stated that even Umama didn't accept the apology. I'd like to know maybe an update on that. I'm not sure if Mama can give us a quick one on how she feels even hearing today's testimony.
Okay, I'll take the one on the so-called apology. This chap, whatever his name is, murders my husband in cold blood, which resulted in my late daughter attempting to commit suicide twice before her father's funeral. This child was going for counseling for 6 years, and after that he died. In my view, Walus did not only kill my husband, which he pretends he only killed him, he also killed my daughter. Not only did killing of Chris stop with my daughter, Comrade President O.R. Tambo died because of the same bullet that killed. It's a whole chain. Okay, now this chap, whatever his name is, I don't even want to say it, 20 years later, after we have been in court from 94, during apartheid, okay, 20 years later he says he is sorry. He never talked to me. He said he's sorry to you, the media. In any case, I would never forgive him. I know, there's theory, you tell us you are Christians, we are supposed to forgive. I'm human. He took my husband's life. He took the life of my children's father. Why should I forgive him? In any case, even in Catholic Church, those who are Catholics, you have to confess first before the priest will say, God will forgive you, my child. So I will never forgive him. All I'm asking for from the judiciary is justice on my husband's death. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
I think as Dimpo has put it very better. Just to add that we have always said he must.
That's Dimpo Hani, the widow of Chris Hani, was assassinated in 1993, and the assassin Janusz Walus yet again trying to get parole today at the Constitutional Court. Judgment there has been reserved, and they have a media briefing there. She's accompanied, of course, by Solly Mapaila from the South African Communist Party. In case you didn't know or you forgot, Chris Hani was the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party at the time of his assassination. We'll keep track.